Welcome back. All right, so as promised, the Boston Bruins and their 13 wins in a row at home deserve their own video. One thing to look at is how players are playing during this winning. So I went, grabbed the stats. Pastrnak easily leading the way in scoring with 8 goals, 10 assists in those 13 games. So Pasta's been fantastic. Bergeron has 5 goals and 5 assists, best two-way forward in the game. That's been argued for ages, but the reality is he's always in the argument because he's always one of the best two-way forwards in the game. Taylor Hall has been very good at home, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points in 13 games. Marchand has only played 8 home games, 4 goals, 8 assists for Marchand for 12 points. So he's been a big catalyst since his return. Lindholm, in all 13 games, a goal and 10 assists, and a huge plus 16. Lindholm has been an absolute revelation for the Boston Bruins thus far. That contract looks good right now. It may not age well, but right now it's fine, and that's really what matters. McAvoy's played 6 games at home since his return. He has a goal and 6 assists in those games. He's been very good. DeBrusk in 12 games, 5 goals, 2 assists, 7 points. He's fit in perfectly fine on a line with Marchand and Bergeron. Krejci in his return in 13 games, 5 goals, 6 assists, 11 points. I had concerns about after a year off from the NHL, would there be any issues when he comes back? None. He's been absolutely fine. Zacha, 13 games, 2 goals, 8 assists for 10 points for Pavel Zacha. And yeah, for Zacha, he's been pretty good for the Boston Bruins, and those are basically your key offensive forwards and defensemen. And then Ullmark, 8 wins, 945 save percentage at home. And Swayman, whose stats weren't great to start off, it's a road game that really submarined him there. At home, he's 5-0 with a 943 save percentage. So yeah, it's been remarkable goaltending, fantastic offense, and really smart defense. When you look at these games, they allow 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 3 at the start, 1, 3, 1, 1, 1. They haven't had any shutouts, but they've had plenty of games where they allow 1 goal. Maybe they allow 2. Now, what's interesting is the first game was a 6-3 win over Arizona, and it was tied in 3 at the third, and I was frustrated because it felt like the Bruins just kept letting them in, even though they'd outchanced them by a lot. Your 3 stars in that one, Greer, Coyle, and Foligno. Swayman saves 21 out of 24. So for Swayman, really honestly, not a fantastic start in that he allows 3 goals on 24 shots, and then he would have a rough road game, and so it gave this appearance that Swayman was struggling to start the season. Then they win the home game against Florida 5-3. That one was tied at 1 in the second, but they had a pretty good time after that. Your 3 stars in that one, DeBrusk, Pastrnak, and Bergeron. So, yeah, that tells you that it was a good game as well. All 3 stars Bruins in the first 2 games there. And Ullmark saves 38 out of 41. And Ullmark would be starting a lot of home games from here, too. They won, and this one is one of those, they're lucky they won this on a level because it took a shootout to beat the Anaheim Ducks 2-1. So, again, not a dominant performance. This hasn't been dominant the whole way through. Hall gets the winner in round 4, so your 3 stars included Hall and Ullmark. Ullmark saved 30 out of 31 in that game. Minnesota, they win 4-3. That one's an overtime win. So again, is there some good fortune? Sure. And it's Taylor Hall again. He scores in overtime at 4:49. Your 3 stars included Hall and Pastrnak. Ullmark, 24 saves on 27 shots. And so his save percentage in that one below 900, but still pretty good game for Ullmark. Then they win 3-1 against Dallas. This one was tied 1-1 in the second period. They would score twice in the third. It was tied in the second. They scored before the second was out in that one. Your 3 stars are Ullmark, Pastrnak, and Hall. So Hall is one of the 3 stars in 3 home games in a row. Ullmark saved 30 out of 31 there. Then they won at home against Detroit, 5-1. They led 2-1 after the second. Didn't look back from there. Your 3 stars are Marchand, Swayman, and Pastrnak. Swayman saves 28 out of 29. So there's Swayman in the 3 stars, Ullmark in the 3 stars. The goaltending, again, has been remarkable at home. Then they win 3-1 against the St. Louis Blues. That one was tied 1-1 after the second. Boston scores twice in the third. 3 stars, Bergeron, Marchand, and Clifton. Ullmark saves 26 out of 27, doesn't get into the 3 stars because you got to let other guys into the 3 stars, and Connor Clifton has also had a good start. They won 3-1 at home against Calgary. That one they trailed 1-0 for 11 minutes and 15 seconds, an eternity for the Bruins at home this season. They generally don't end up trailing. They've had brief moments where they've been behind. It's rare, right? At least until this stage. And then there was one game recently where it looked like they might finally lose the winning streak, and it didn't happen. But in this one, they trailed 1-0 for 11:55 and then tied it up. The rest is history. 3 stars in that one, Ullmark, McAvoy, and there's Clifton, second home game in a row. Ullmark saves 31 out of 32 there. Then they win 5-2 at home against Vancouver. The tie, it was tied 1-1 for 8 minutes and 24 seconds of the first period, and then Boston took that away. Your 3 stars in that one, Lindholm, Pastrnak, and Ullmark. Ullmark saves 29 and 31 in that one. So 29 saves on 31, Ullmark with another good game. Then they had the home game against the Philadelphia Flyers. They won that one 4-1. They led 1-0 after the first and just kind of cruised from there. 3 stars in that one, Ullmark, Krejci, and Zacha. So Ullmark in the 3 stars, 3 games in a row. He saved 22 out of 23 in that victory over Philly. Then they beat Chicago 6-1. Really lopsided game there. They led 4-1 after 2. Didn't look back from there. McAvoy, Pastrnak, and Marchand are your 3 stars in that one. Swayman saved 17 out of 18. Not very many difficult shots there. Then they won 3-2 against Carolina. This is an overtime win. So this is the first overtime win they needed since the win over Minnesota. They trailed 2-0 after the first period, but they came back and won it. The 3 stars in that one, Pastrnak, Krejci, and McAvoy. Ullmark saved 28 out of 30. He got hurt. And then Swayman saved all 6 shots in relief. Then they win last night 3-1 against the Tampa Bay Lightning. That one was tied 1-1 after the second period. Your 3 stars are Hall, Swayman, and Lindholm. Swayman, 27 saves and 28 shots. And he's been in the 3 stars twice in the games that he's played at home. And again, his numbers at home have been excellent, 943 overall. And he did get the win in relief in that game that Ullmark had the very good game going as well. It doesn't matter who's in net. It doesn't matter who's hurt. It doesn't matter who's playing. The Boston Bruins are winning. Now, their upcoming schedule does get a little bit more difficult. I'm not sure how far this goes. They're against these teams in the month of December. These are all home games. Colorado, so that's not going to be easy. Vegas, also unlikely to be an easy one. The Islanders, they've been playing pretty well lately too. So one of those 3 games probably ends up being a loss. Then you have LA, Columbus, Florida. LA, some goaltending issues. They waived Peterson today. Columbus, of course, has had a slow start. Florida, a disappointing first quarter for them as well. And Boston's already beaten them 5-3, so they'll be looking for some vengeance there. And then you've got Winnipeg coming in. Winnipeg, very good and dangerous. You take them lightly, you're done. And then Buffalo. Buffalo, of course, very difficult to predict what kind of Buffalo team you're going to get from one game to the next. So I just wanted to make this quick little video on the Boston Bruins and the start they've had. It has been remarkable fun to watch as a fan of the Boston Bruins and all of that. But I do wonder how far this can go. And it is funny that the first game of the year against Arizona, they could have lost that one, but they did pull that one out. And since then, there hasn't been a lot of tension, but there's been some. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. How far you think this can go. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.